I saw the light today, oh boy. It comes on flashing bright in red and blue. The man steps in with the terminal grin. Blue skies turn to gray. Young men die and children cry. Why is it always the same? Hey, folks. It's a cheerful entrance to a video. Welcome to Let's Play Final Fantasy VIII. I am the mysterious JG, and I need to get far enough. I'm realizing when I take a gander at the FAQ that there's something coming up where I'm going to need, if I want to like optimize the playthrough, it's another one of those things I'll want to do off screen because it'll take time. Where I can potentially either play a lot of the card game, or I could potentially try to use random number manipulation tricks to get a hold of an item, which will teach one of our Guardian Forces the 4 times ability thing. Siren might be a good choice because she has a slot available. But I'll be able to get that, and it's not too far from now that the card game will open up where that could be a random prize from some guy who makes you pay money to play cards with him, but if you win, he gives you a prize, and there's a very low % chance that that prize will be a very valuable item called Rosetta Stone, which will teach you French. No, it will give you the abilities times 4. It means if you have that Guardian Force equipped, you see Diablo has ability times 3, which is why whoever has Diablo equipped will have 3 abilities rather than just 2. See, he's only got 2. He's got 3 because he's got Diablo equipped. Yeah. It will make it so that it'll be a little bit earlier in the game when I can finally just stop avoiding all combat and have people who, if you've got... Or it could be, maybe if I'm not fighting enemies on screen, I could potentially level people up off screen and be like, okay, you've got ability times 4, and I'm going to give you, oh, see, he's got the wrong abilities for me to show it, but like, where him, I could strength bonus and magic bonus. Well, if I also had vitality bonus and spirit bonus, and then ability times 4, I could equip them all at the same time and just grind for levels with this character. And get the maximum possible return. It's part of the long-term, exciting, advanced strategy. Another thing is that not realizing that opportunity was coming, and feeling a little under the weather with some of the the medical stuff that's been going on. I did do a little bit of off-screen grinding around here, fighting caterpillars and using the capture command, or the card command, to try to learn skills for my Guardian Forces that are brand new Guardian Forces I've acquired, but I couldn't get that far with it because, I ran into a little problem. Well, Diablo is actually almost fully leveled up, but he was pretty close anyway. But, yeah, didn't get that much for Carbuncle. Oh, he's got ability times 3. I should really split them up. Diablo and Carbuncle should not be on the same character, but it's not really important right now. But yeah, I was working on this, and like, I'll use the card command, and I'll defeat easy enemies using the card command as Kyros and Laguna, and it'll be fine. But I ran into a little problem, which is that I got 100 of the Bite Bug cards and 100 of the Caterpillar cards, and those are the enemies that show up around here. And I converted all those cards into items, and then still hit 100, and it stops working at that point. So the game is basically saying, knock it off, JG, advance the story. So here we are, going to advance the story, just far enough for me to get to another point where I get off screen. And what I can also do now is, rather than, I can actually do the encounter none, the in-game no encounters thing, so that we are not fighting monsters. We're just running around advancing the story. Now, it's also important to note that, we finished Disc 1 last time, and Final Fantasy VIII for the PS1 shipped to stores. I should say this is before people were really buying games online so much. But it came in a jewel case with 4 discs. They were cleverly labeled Discs 1, 2, 3, and 4. Disc 4 is the final dungeon of the game, which is the biggest single dungeon of the game, but still not really as big as any of the previous discs had been. So it's really like 3.5 discs was the content. So we're more than a quarter of the way through the game. And I remember for years having thought, oh, Disc 1 was my favorite. The game kind of went downhill after Disc 1. The story stopped really cohering for me. But as I'm Let's Playing it years later, I'm like, man, the story wasn't really that impressive. Disc 1's story wasn't as gripping as I recall. Maybe I wasn't making fun of it as much, and that has undermined my enjoyment, or I don't know. It just seems like it also has gone by faster than I expected, at least in terms of on-screen content, because I've been doing so much with the card game, and I guess when I grinded for fighting enemies and drawing magic and stuff years ago without the speed-up command, it felt like it took a long time to get through Disc 1. But with the speed-up command and using the card game and watching riff tracks or other people's LPs, it just hasn't taken me as long to get this far as I expected. Of course, I'm making things take a long time with all this chit-chat right now. But no, the point is we're more than a quarter of the way through the story, and it's not feeling as epic as I recall. But I do remember at this point in the game being really quite interested to figure out exactly what is Laguna and its connection with the rest of the story. Because pretty clearly, the Galbadian soldiers are not being portrayed as, like, just generically evil G-Army. I mean, he was part of it. Now we've got G-Army soldiers in this town that we talk to, and they're just, like, regular guys. You seem to have fully recovered. Perhaps it's time for you to come back to the army. Come on, guys. You can kill some monsters, too. We only watch for SR soldiers. Screw the monsters. Give me a break, guys. These guys are just being lazy. But yeah, Wind Hill, what apparently is part of the Galbadian, zone. You think the SR soldiers are really coming? That was 2 years ago, right? They would have been here by now. But you never know what a country ruled by sorcerers could be up to. Good point. I've been here 2 years, and boy, is it boring. It's a heck of a lot better than what SR soldiers do. They kidnap little girls, I think they're looking for a successor to Sorceress Adele, the ruler of Esthar. If they come back here again, I'm sure it'll be for a loan this time. Ha! But they gotta go through me. So this generic soldier probably should have gotten a name, because he seems to know Laguna and Alone, and feels some kind of connection with them. I know that we saw what this was at the end of the last video, and I just don't remember what it was. It's been a few days since I recorded this. And we talked to them in there about, let's just double check. The fact says to make sure you ask about Julia, because you miss completion of something or other if you don't. Come back soon, okay? Come back and try again later. We'll have fun, I'll have lunch already. Yeah, so we've exhausted all the dialogue here, I believe. And we have Laguna and Kyros in plainclothes. Find out what they dress like when they're left to their own devices. Laguna, I have a simple question. Why do I talk like Mazuyuki Sanada? What exactly do you do here? Well, I'm plowing that lady, Rain. It's like this. All the working men in this town were sent off to war. It's kind of like Paradise Towers. The only ones still left in town are the old people, children, chocobos, dogs, and cats. And I'm sure you've noticed, but the monsters have made their way into town. And also, killer cleaning machines. Again, Paradise Towers. It's a Doctor Who cereal from the 80s. It's delicious with 1% milk. This here town took real good care of me. So basically, I want to return the kindness. You're looking at the Monster Hunter of Wind Hill. So as of today, you'll be my assistant. We're to patrol the town up to the town entrance. If we see anyone in need along the way, we help them. That's our basic duty. But of course I've set no encounters, which means that this will be pointless. It's possible you encounter other enemies than caterpillars or those bite bugs if you leave that first screen, but I really don't think you do. Certainly this is not meant to be challenging from a battle perspective. We don't have Drain? I feel like we have Drain. It's just not one of the ones I keep on the characters. But just in case. You know what? Forget it. Because if I do get it, it's just going to be a small amount, and I'll need to find another source before I could junction it to anything anyway. Oh, wait, lady.
It's been quite some time now since you've recovered from your injuries.
Thanks to everyone in town.
This here town must be quite dull for a young lad like yourself. Perhaps it's time you returned to Delling City?
Somebody in the comments was saying how Delling City seemed like a really awesome place to live. I don't see it. It's about 4 screens and has like 800 buses, all of which take you to places you could easily walk to. It seems weird.
It's been quite some time now. You know that you can't play cards in this Laguna flashbacks, right? It could be time for you to go back to Delling City. Hint, hint. Get out of here. We don't want you.
I also remember one of the impressions the game left on me, and I went many years between. This is not a game like Final Fantasy X. For whatever reason, I played a couple of times. Like I never went more than like 3 years without replaying through. Final Fantasy VIII was different. I played it once. I really enjoyed it. I didn't go back and replay it several times over the years, so I'm a little bit hazier on all the details of stuff. But I remember having really, like, part of it's little idyllic music, but I liked the idea of Wind Hill, this, like, peaceful place that's separated from all the adventure and destruction and whatnot. Huh. You know what? Screw it. Let's draw a little bit of Reflect. And we'll draw some Drain, and if we get back our party and find out I already had both spells... Ooh, 15 drains, not bad. I feel like Drain is a magic you can get from those wimpy little bad enemies, but only if you're really high level. Okay, we've certainly got enough slots that we can afford to have them sitting around and get rid of them later. Because somebody insisted, and I eventually figured out there is a way to get rid of them. Just delete the stock of magic if you don't want to use it anymore. This reminds me of being like a little kid and visiting Ireland and seeing like the town where my parents, the towns where my parents grew up, which were pretty small and unexciting by the standards of what I'd grown up around, but it just seemed really charming and nice. Like you could see yourself settling down there. You know, assuming you had high-speed internet, of course. You'd go out and enjoy the slow pace of life and then come back and have high-speed internet. So there's chocobos around here, I guess. But not at the moment. And we would be subject to random encounters with weak enemies overrunning the town. So, like, as caterpillars and bite bugs attack the town, this happy music continues to play. And we're allowed to come into any home we want, and nothing is happening of any interest in any of them. We have at least established that Laguna, Kyros, and Ward's adventures seem to take place... Well, we don't know where Ward is. I guess Ward is in a prison as a janitor. We were told that. But, Wind Hill presumably exists in Squall's world somewhere, because we definitely saw these guys go to Delling City. And Squall's party went to Delling City, and it was the same place. Like... I don't know if these adventures are happening simultaneously. Custera and Aquatilian styles, but, it's not some kind of bizarre fantasy world these guys are occupying. I suppose maybe it is that just bear similarities to the world Squall and his friends are in. But no, presumably at some point Squall and his friends will be running around Wind Hill, and something will be going on in all these buildings we're going into that don't seem to have a purpose. Alright, our first patrol complete. We're to report to the commander and assistant commander.
Commander, you mean that woman at the pub?
Her name's Rain. Rain, okay? She saved my life. And the assistant commander is alone. She seems like a really
nice person, but easily taken in by a hotshot.
A hotshot? You mean Eddie Gilbert? Okay, let's step up a patrol a notch. Assistant Kyros, let's come up with a plan after we get back to the base. The hell? You've recovered. Now get out of here. They hate me, but I still have to shop. They hate me, but I'll try to converse. They hate me. Guess I'll head back. He hate me. I'm an XFL pro. I just want to chat. How's Rain? She's doing fine. That's good. But it'd be even better if you left. Ooh. At least he asked after Rain. They hate me, but I still have to shop. Rain asked me to. So the fact specifically says spend this money because it doesn't affect anything once you get back to the main game. And they've got a point. So let's spend this little bit of money we got here. Can't buy a whole hell of a lot with it, but we could probably pick up some. Let's just get as many high potions as we can, and then because I have spent money on other stuff, and then realized, oh, can't carry any more of those. Huh? I probably shouldn't have spent some of the money that I have already spent, because we'll be at this point where I could potentially just play lots and lots of card games off screen to get these items rather than trying to go through a complicated RNG manipulation. Because I'll get to some use out of whatever cards I get that don't result in me getting the item I want. Oh, sorry to bother you. And this is where you would leave town and return to the world map if we were playing as Laguna or Squall in the gang, but we're not. I'm pretty sure... oh, never mind. So I'd say I'm pretty sure something happens here when you're playing as Squall. Like, the Chocobo's actually crossed.
Hey, Laguna. Are you doing this patrol thing every day?
Nah, only on Sundays. Thing? What are you calling Thing? Did you find Thing?
Weren't you aiming to become a world-traveling journalist?
Yeah, but...
You know, everybody just wants to hear conspiracy theories about how Hillary Clinton caused coronavirus. You've heard of timber maniacs, right?
You mean Tim Manny?
I had a talk with the chief editor. He said he's interested in any article related to world travel.
That's great.
We should go talk to him sometime.
Yeah. Aww. But that would mean he'd have to leave Rain alone. He'd have to leave Rain alone. With alone. See what I did there? It'd be okay if we stayed here a bit longer, right?
You need time to gather more material? This seems like a really nice town. You're gonna write about this place first, aren't you?
Well, yeah, first of all, the central ruins. Oh, I mean, no way, can't make this place famous. Too much publicity and you get all this tourists and stuff.
You're afraid someone might come and take Rain away? Laguna, you've changed, man.
You never used to be worried about Rain being kidnapped. Hey, I see a monster. Tickle machine. Alright, let's go back to this screen in case I can get more, It looked like that draw point had regenerated. Yeah. So I'm not sure why that happened and the other one didn't regenerate, but okay. And coming up is what I remember being one of the very saddest parts of the game, but I'm going to save first. Save over the dollet save slots. I can't imagine. There would be a pretty major problem that I found in the Let's Play that would cause me to go that far back to replay through. Okay, the music's getting a bit repetitive now. I remember really liking the peaceful music of this place, but... Hey, where are you guys? I want to end this chapter. I want to end this Laguna section.
What? girl talk. Let's come back later. I'm shaking my head for some reason. Come on. Something inside me tells me to listen.
Rain, aren't you gonna marry Uncle Laguna?
A guy like that? He was carried in here crying like a baby, and I was the one who had to take care of him. Of course, now I've got some serious Florence Nightingale syndrome, but his crude way of speaking, I don't know if his aspirations as a journalist are true. And that cut off before I could do anything. Every time I try to have a serious conversation, he avoids it. I can't stand his snoring, and he talks in his sleep. And he's got this weird corkscrew-shaped...
But he's really nice. I really, really like him. Rain, Uncle Laguna, and Ellie should all be together.
I'll go down there. Alone is going for it. I told her to start putting in a good word for me. Let's see if it works.
But you know... I think what he really wants to do is travel all over the world.
To where the strong people are. He's praying for a healthy battle.
I don't think he has it in him to live in a quiet country town like this one. Some people are like that. Oh, it makes me so mad. Ooh-wee. I'm gonna walk off screen in frustration.
You don't like him?
I feel the same as you, Alone. You don't like him either, right?
Oh?
What was that dance he just did?
Yeah, you're back.
Huff, huff, puff, puff. I came back in a hurry.
Report to the commander.
The commander is waiting. Let's go to the commander's room.
Here's my report on today's patrol and monster extermination. Including Bucha Bucha Buchus and Bun Buns that Assistant Commander Alone oh so hates. I've exterminated 152 monsters. Oh, that's embarrassing. I didn't know I was going to count. I guess I turned 152 bite bugs and caterpillars into cards while... You know, with the speed-up command, it doesn't take that long. But yeah, I got through a couple of Mystery Science Theaters just trying to get some skill points for our Guardian forces.
All right, thank you. You know, that's, that really should be enough for one day, and yet it doesn't seem to represent any change in the number of monsters attacking Town Square. Shall we eat before you get started with the next patrol? I need at least 300 eliminated today.
Oh, so I'm over halfway there.
I'll call you when it's ready, so just go wait in your room.
Screw up.
You seem pretty tired. You should take a quick nap. I'll call you when it's ready. Take a nap. Go to bed, old man.
Let's eat. Let's all eat together. You're joining us too, right, Mr. Kiros?
Yeah, knife pose, I guess.
We have me and Rain and Uncle Laguna and Mr. Kiros.
It's pretty awesome. Are we going through that whole thing again? Yeah. Shouldn't have talked to her because we're going to go through all this again.
So anyway, I just came here to tell you about Timber Maniacs, but, I guess I can stay for dinner. You know what? I'm going to go hang out with Ward at the prison where he's a janitor.
So you can hang out here and do more fighting of caterpillars and stuff at the vacant house. But the plot says take a nap. Time for a little break. Well now, shall we rest up a bit? Come on, snuggle in close, Kiros.
What's the matter?
I get scared sometimes. Scared of waking up somewhere else. Scared of not seeing Alone.
Scared of not seeing Rain?
But sure. What happened to me? I feel... What is this I'm feeling? Oh, please let it be this room when I wake up. Please let me be in this puny bed when I wake up.
Laguna, you've changed. You're clearly having some kind of psychological breakdown.
But yeah, I remember finding this part really sad. Because what he's basically seems to be worried about is that he's going to wake up and not be Laguna anymore. That he'll shift to Squall. Which, as you may have guessed, is precisely what has just happened. So when we come back next time, folks, we'll be back to the adventure of Squall and the Squall team. The S team. See you then.